right, good.
Well, look, hey, over here. Hi, Tiffany.
Hi. You got a coffee spill. You want my napkin?
I did.
Here.
Oh my gosh.
Here you go. Use mine.
I got a coffee. Look at this.
Here.
I show up today. Somebody's parking in my parking spot. My toll tag didn't work.
Oh no.
Deal open. I'm spilling coffee on my white pants. Damn.
A little morning drama.
Yeah. I got more.
Keep it lively.
Here you go, Brandon. Yeah.
They didn't see that.
Uh-oh, you're going to spill again. You got to be careful, Bob.
I don't know what's going on this morning. Alexa off.
Look at her behaving.
She actually behaves.
I know.
It doesn't happen very often. Usually,
Only woman that listens to you,
well,
huh?
it is. 'Cause I say Alexa a lot, and she usually is like Johnny on the spot, turn
Right.
it on, and she's saying something, doing something. I'm like, oh my goodness, I gotta. We were cutting a vlog, one of my vlogs, and I was talking about technology.
Yes.
And how some of these technologies that are coming into our space could have some type of disruption or impact in what we do, and Alexa
Absolutely.
happens to be one of them. Well, it's really interesting. As we're cutting the vlog, I say that a lot, and then she's just going crazy.
Oh, of
right?
course.
She's going crazy. But, I don't know. So we're good on Tiffany's
I'm live.
stream. We got
Bob,
the
you're
other
live.
cameras
I'm watching you right now. You're listening
Okay.
to it.
All right, man. So we got like 4 cameras rolling on us. It's really cool. So on this jam session,
do
Tiffany
it.
Haynes stops by.
Love it. Thank you for having me.
Hey guys, I'm excited. My name,
Yes.
for those that don't know me, I'm Bob Johnson.
Yes.
Okay, and this is the Bob Mortgage Jam Session. Okay.
And I love Bob. I've been to his office before several times now. And you just have good energy. You build a real good culture, and I love the staff. I love your wife. I love what you're doing over here.
You're already getting into those
You
things
know,
you love about me.
that's
I mean,
right.
How great of a show is this going to be? I'm supposed to be doing it to you, and you're already giving it
You
to
got to
me.
give props to the host. I do appreciate what you're doing. You really are breathing innovation in your industry that could be considered boring, and I love what you're doing. So,
Well, thank you.
so
Well,
it's
I'm-
nice to sit with you.
Well, I'm excited to have you on the show
you.
as well, because there's a lot of people watching.
Yes.
Right? We got your fans.
That's right.
Hopefully these are my fans. But some of them will know you.
Yes.
Some of them aren't going to know you. And I do this jam session to bring in people that are really doing some great things in their industry.
Yes.
I do it to also hopefully enhance my partners' businesses by bringing you into a network maybe that you're not already connected to.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
what is really cool and exciting for me is hopefully in 6 months I'm going to get an email. 3 months I'm going to get an email, whatever it is,
Right.
that says, Bob, dude, thanks so much for introducing me to Tiffany. This has
Yes.
been awesome. It's been an awesome introduction. She's helping my business. Whatever it is, I want this show to be part of how
love
that impacts people's
yes,
lives.
I love that.
So guys,
I
if
hope
you're
the
out
same for
there,
you. I got a lot of agents, so
Well,
as you
yeah,
know.
I know.
So if you're
that's
watching
great.
this and you've never used Bob, you've got to. I don't want to
We'll
interview
get into
you,
that.
but,
We'll get into that. But so for
gotta
those
use
that don't know you, okay,
Yes,
so
yes,
that can
at
be
all.
speaking to that audience over there.
Okay.
For the percentage of those that don't know you right now, give them like just a quick spiel, 30,000-foot view
Okay.
of
What
who
I do?
you are. No, not what you do.
Okay.
Yet.
Okay.
But who you are.
So I'm a wife and mom of 2. I have a 13-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Oh,
So I got a 10-year gap.
Uh-huh.
So she's keeping us young. My daughter and my son is 13.
Okay.
Grew up military brat. Father did 22 years in the military, and my mom is a minister and still is in church serving.
Really?
And, yes.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yes.
great.
So that's kind of my background. That's how I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
My father does everything in the spirit of excellence, like every single thing he does. So, even though he did 22 years in the military, he received the highest award you can get when not being at war, because he saved a lot of lives, and there was a book written about him. And I mean, just everything he does is
Oh
just
my
kind
gosh.
of in that.
I need the book then.
You got to get the book. I'll get you the book.
Okay, so you're going to give me the book. Give
Yes.
me the name of the book. I'll buy
The
the
Kevin
book, whatever it
Zimmerman
is.
story. That's my,
What is it?
The Kevin Zimmerman story.
Really?
Yep. And so it talks
That
about.
sounds really important.
Yeah, it doesn't it, right? His name is already kind of fancy. So, but yeah, so those were some of the things that he did throughout his career, and then he retired. And we lived everywhere. So I was born in Italy, and then I went to high school in Germany. I graduated high school in Washington State in the Seattle area at Fort Lewis. And then my dad was a diehard Cowboys fan and said, when I retire, I'm going to Dallas. And the rest is history. Here we come.
Well, first off, thank you very much for his service. I mean, that's a big thing. And I'm going to get that book. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean,
he is.
And did he write it or did somebody
He did.
write it?
He wrote it. Well, him and a co-author wrote it.
Okay.
And he retired, and then he immediately began to serve again because he now helps soldiers that are struggling with PTSD and things like that. He was personally selected to come out to San Antonio and did some work there. And then he came back and is working for hospitals now, and he goes all around the country every single week to let soldiers know about the hospital in Dallas now that can come in.
That is such a great story.
Yeah, so that's where my service comes from. It's like in my blood. It's in my DNA.
Servant's heart.
Yes, and my mom the same way. I mean, every country we went to, no matter what state, no matter what country, she found a church, she was serving in it. I mean, immediately. I mean, we wouldn't be there a month, and she wants to find out how she can serve. So
Pastor?
No, we never stay anywhere long enough for her to do that. That was always but she was always a minister and an evangelist and an elder, and always kind of moved up in her ranking that way. And so now, she's in Dallas as well too now. So yeah, that's been the journey as I was growing up.
They got here because they love the Cowboys.
That's what brought us here. Yep.
Really?
Yep. Because he liked Texas.
There's going to be a lot of people that love it, a lot of people that hate that story right there.
I know.
The ending isn't going to be good for a lot of people.
And you don't want my dad either, because he is diehard blue, hollering. My son had a game Monday night. Everything is just yelling and screaming and ridiculousness. He's just awesome.
Has
the boys
he been up to the Star yet to see?
You know what? He hasn't. We were just talking about that too, because I said, have you been to the Star? I went up there for a meeting. I was there for work, so I couldn't really luxuriate. So I said, Dad, we got to get you to the Star, man.
Let's get him there.
We'll get him to the Star.
Let's make sure we do that.
I hope he's watching. So Bob, you heard it from Bob.
Right, I'm here. I'm telling you, I'm going to get you there if you're watching.
Yes.
That is, if he's a diehard Cowboy fan.
He is.
That is the place.
It's the place to be. I remember we were going.
Awesome.
I was with a partner because we were getting ready to do it, have a meeting, and they were walking really fast because they'd been there before, and I'm thinking, slow down, just calm down, we'll get there.
They have a great tour, right?
I was reading about it.
They have an amazing tour, and they've done a really good job about just documenting the history of the Cowboys, and he would
love it. I know.
We're going to alienate some fans here, because I'm sure there's some out there that aren't Cowboy fans. I don't know what's going on. So, morning routine. I mean, you got 2 kids. You got a lot of stuff going on. It sounds like you grew up in a, I would assume, a pretty disciplined household.
Yes.
So, give me kind of
what the morning routine is.
What's your morning routine? Because everybody's different, right?
I know. Well, I have the luxury, or maybe not the luxury, of working from home, right? When you have 2 kids and it's summertime, sometimes it doesn't seem like it's a good thing.
Right.
But luckily, because it's the summer, they all sleep in. So the morning is the golden time for me.
Yep.
I'm up early. I pray. I read my goals every single morning.
I love that.
I always know what I'm going to do. I write that the day before the end of the day. I'm really huge on productivity. I'm a business book junkie. So I'm always trying to develop and become better. So that's typically what I'm doing every morning. And I take advantage of that morning time to really work on things that only I can do. Because I have a staff of 14 people. So once it's kind of 9 a.m., 9:30, my phone's ringing.
It's going.
The clients are calling. I'm getting ready for meetings. I'm getting ready to hang out with Bob. I'm going and do different things. We sponsor a lot of classes, host a lot of classes. So if I don't get up early and knock out those things that only I can do, it just won't get done. Yeah.
So there's those people that will say I get up at 4:30 or stuff like that. That's early. That's real early for me.
Right.
So early. You say early. What
6:30. I get up at 6:30. Yeah. Because
so I'm usually a 5:45, 6 a.m. kind of guy.
Right.
It's something odd about 5:55 and 6 o'clock
Right.
my mind does different things to me.
Yes.
6 o'clock's fine. 5:55, I'm a little freaked out, man.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's just a little bit.
So question, because this is what happens to me. If you were to wake up at 6:30, which would be a little late for you, does it kind of mess with you the whole morning?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it does. I mean, I have my routine as
Right.
well, but
Yeah.
I wish it involved like getting up and working out and all that kind of stuff.
That's right. I know when I hear other
I don't have
people's
time to do
routines, I'm
that.
like, I gotta step it up.
Yeah,
know.
I love your routine though, because you need a time for yourself to get up. Whether it's prayer, it's meditation, it's just you're being thoughtful for
Yes.
yourself as to what you need to do to take care of yourself mentally,
Yes.
spiritually, and then the more that you can take care of yourself, I feel that you have the ability then to impact and take care of other people.
Absolutely.
If you don't give yourself that time, you don't have the ability to help.
Right. You're on edge.
You
Yes,
are.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I have that little bit of time in the morning that I'll spend, but, I also go to bed late. Like last night, I mean,
too.
I'm up here at 7 something this morning, and, I didn't go to bed till, I think it was like 12:45.
Right.
I
I go to
just,
bed late too.
yeah, it's
And they
just
were
the way-
loud, there's the summertime, the kids are, you gotta shut them up, and it just takes a while before I can like settle down and go to sleep. But
So
yeah.
13-year-old boy,
Yes.
2-year-old,
3-year-old girl.
3-year-old daughter.
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
yep.
So I'm 14. I have 2 daughters, 14 and 12.
Oh, see, yeah.
So,
But you're out of the toddler woods, like.
Oh yeah, no,
right. You
that
have to deal with
3-year-old, I
that.
wouldn't know what to do with it anymore.
I don't either. I mean, I'm just winging it.
That's awesome. So fun fact,
Yeah.
I know that camera over there is probably going to know some things about you. This one
Yes.
may not know as much. But
Okay, I gotta make sure I look that way, too.
We got 4 of them running, right?
Okay.
So let's figure out which one we're going to talk to.
All right.
But give me a fun fact, something that nobody would know about you.
Oh man, most people don't know I was born in Italy.
That's
And
very
that was
true.
a fun. They don't know the, like childhood things that I kind of grew up everywhere in high school in Germany and things like that. So I think that's kind of started with the fun fact. My history before I came to Dallas is really kind of unique and different. And because I've lived everywhere, there's not very many. Like I lived in New Jersey, I lived in
Yep.
Oklahoma. That's where my brother was born. So
Wow.
yeah, I mean
Italy, Germany, Oklahoma.
That's right. And then Washington State,
Right.
and then Texas. I came and
You
been in Texas
you
now.
finally got to the great state.
I've been here now for I guess 15 years now.
So where do you draw your inspiration from?
As far as work or anything,
Just life.
like I said, I love books. I probably read 4 books a month. On a good
That's
month.
great.
I run out of Audible credits, and I'm like, dang, should I wait? I guess go read one of my
Do
printed
you
books.
read them or do you listen to
I
them?
normally listen just because
Okay.
I'm always working. And then I'm in my car a lot, so I get excited if I got a new book and I know I have an hour drive because that's a good hour that I can listen to uninterrupted of my book.
Yeah.
And people get in the car with me like, who is talking? That's because I'm normally listening to a book. Yeah, so I think that comes, that helps me with a lot of my business things. I think before I started my own business, I used to read a lot of fiction, but now I'm all about, business, personal development. Entrepreneurship is the most intense personal development process you'll ever
Right.
go through.
You got a great book to recommend?
Oh man, I got like a top 5. I mean,
Okay.
So if you're in a business and so finances, the number 1 book that probably changed my business was Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. So that's a favorite of mine. A classic is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It really just is a classic.
Yeah.
Every business owner should read it. Michael Gerber's The E-Myth completely
Yep.
changed my business.
Yep.
I think I had some roots from my previous jobs, but that really catapulted my systems and stuff for my business. So those are some of my favorites. But
Great books.
I could go on and on. I
Well,
have
I mean,
to send a list out.
And the cool thing about, and I love books, and
Yeah.
I've read my share of books, but I've kind of
Yeah.
moved from books to actually just like watching people do
Absolutely,
stuff.
yes.
Just watching them do it, and
Yes.
then obviously, taking that and finding places where I can implement it
Right.
in my business.
Well, here's the thing, like average is contagious. So if you grew up when people that modeled things were kind of average. You can kind of be average. And so you have to really be around excellence. And so you as a father, your daughters are watching what you're doing in this industry.
100%.
And it's the best, and that's what I'm saying.
They watch how
the
you
balance.
drive.
Yes.
I mean, they watch what you
have
say
an
when you
opinion
drive.
about it. That's right.
I mean, my daughter's in her first coaster right now. When she heard me drive, they're like, "Oh, why did I do that?"
That's right. Right.
But yeah, I mean, they watch everything. They absorb so much.
Yes.
So if they see you read,
Yep.
they see you pray,
Yep.
they see you do those things, and those things tend to be part of the life that they grew up with and then start doing themselves.
I hope so. You know, even my son, he's older now, you know, and if he's in the car with me, I'm, you know, the books are going and all that. And sometimes I go, which one is this one?
Even if you don't think they're hearing you, they are listening.
Yes.
They are.
They're
I mean,
picking up.
they're there. They just may not respond the way you want them to immediately because they're 13 or 14 years old.
I didn't respond to
I
much at
know,
all when I
I
was
know.
early.
So you
a while.
weren't. So you weren't. You didn't start out in this business, right? And what you do, because I'm going to talk about what you do.
Okay.
But give me a little bit of your history of your work history. I know we got
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Now lead me into your work history. What have you done?
Sure. So the first job I ever had, which was, you know, it's an unfair advantage. You know, I can say that wholeheartedly and know that. So the first job I ever received was I was a broker's assistant. I was like fresh out of college, broker's assistant. He says, and he did land and retail and commercial and very little residential. So this is what I learned first.
Okay.
And he says, well, you know, I just kind of need someone here to kind of answer the phones, help me with emails and all this. And now this is 15 years ago. He was in his 60s at the time. So
Okay.
I'm like, all right, I can do that. I can rock with that. So, but of course it turned into, you know, now that I know this, we take strength finders tests in my company, and my number one strength is strategist. I like to strategize. So it's almost, you know, I don't sit and answer phones well because I want to do something else. I want to and I would see like his brochures and go, we should change this up.
Change your brochure.
Yeah, let's do something. This isn't a Word document. Throw this out of here. So I just started
we
to.
still have agents that use Word documents to create,
I
you know,
know.
and clip
It just
art
breaks
and-
my heart. We'll get to that. So, but yeah, so I just started to really just get ingrained in the company and learn things. And he noticed that I was kind of a go-getter. And he would say, you know, I'm going to the Planning and Zoning Committee about, you know, Trinity Falls development. He was a part of that, and McKinney, and why don't you come with me? So I began to kind of come and learn and really learn the business. And I learned about, you know, the engineering aspect. And then the mayor would come in and talk about developments and different things they were doing. And,
Oh, wow.
And but I was so young. I just, you know, that happened to be my first job, you know. And he's now a mentor of mine, but it's like he never said, okay, you know, here's topic A of what you should know about business. I learned by watching. Mm-hmm. I learned by watching and
then doing.
And then just getting involved, because the more that you get involved and contribute, the more they want to teach you.
Okay.
Because they realize that the more that they teach you, the more you can help them. So that became the process, and so I did that for. I worked there for about 5 years, and then that's right when 2008 happened, and development.
2008.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
and
that's something called the housing crisis collapse,
Absolutely.
whatever it was.
Absolutely
Impacted business, I'm
yes.
sure.
Yeah, especially in land.
Sure.
I mean, development deals are the first things that finance deals were falling apart.
Right.
I mean, they're pulling out of the multi-million-dollar financing deals. So that really kind of was stagnant, and so the business was really hit a rough spot. And he said, "Look, you know, this Titanic is kind of going down. If you got to do something, you got to do something." And I stayed for a while, and then I ended up going and getting a corporate job, and that's where it really kind of connected what I learned in that culture.
Okay.
Because just to go back, he was a relationship builder. Like, he was the expert on it. I still have never seen anything like it in my life. We'd be sitting in an office like this, and it would be literally, you know, a real estate attorney, an engineer, you know, us, I'm there, we're getting ready to write a contract, and somebody could call on a little lot that, you know, was listed a couple counties up, you know, and he would sit on the phone and talk to them about their mom and their dad and their college team. And we'd be sitting there, come on, you got a $400,000 commission we can be talking about right now. This is what people hope to make in a year.
Right.
And he didn't care.
He didn't care about the money.
It was all about
He
relationship.
cared about the relationship. And there's a lesson there, guys, is
Yeah.
when you're building business, the connection that you can make with people, because you really want to connect with them and figure out how you can help them,
Yes.
trumps that commission check.
Yes.
If you really buy into it, because then that means your business will continue to grow and develop, and it'll continue to give back to you 10 times what
Absolutely.
you put into it.
Yes.
Right? If you just chase the dollar,
He runs out.
people, people know it. They feel it. They sense it.
Now he's in his 70s. Last year was his most successful year, and he's been successful for 30 years.
Oh my gosh, I love
and it's
that.
because of how he is. I mean, even me, I help him with a lot of marketing and stuff, and I'll call him and I'll say, how's Kennedy? She's the same as yesterday. Can you approve the e-newsletter? So because he's still like that. He's still going to ask about everybody, and as busy as he is. And so I really learned that. And then when I went to corporate world, I was a risk manager. So I literally built remediation plans for departments that were either losing money or they had some type of corporate risk.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, a strategist.
I know.
I was loving it, So I would literally build out, okay, how do we identify the whole problem? How do we quantify it? Then how do we build the plan to fix it? And then how do we test to make sure the plan we fixed worked? And that was shout out to Jason Citron. He's my Facebook friend. That he was my best manager when I was there. I had over probably 5 managers, and he was absolutely the best, because I would go, well, this problem can't be quantified, and he goes, any problem in business can be quantified. You can always find a way where it hurts the bottom dollar. And and he would make me go back and and I used to hate it. I was, Jason, if you really, can we talk? Nope, it can be quantified, and I've learned that in my own business. Every problem you have can be quantified to how it's going to hurt your bottom dollar. So I think those two things infused kind of when I started my business, and then having it being raised on just that level of always being of service for my parents, and it just was the secret sauce. It all kind of came together.
So
yeah,
I mean now I know why you're great at what you do, because I'm just telling you, there's a lot of strategy that goes into your business and your industry.
Absolutely.
And you have to be able to connect the dots, A to B to C, all the way through it, which obviously has a direct impact to the bottom dollar.
Right.
And not just the dollar, but the feel and experience that your clients are going through.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So your real estate agents, the agent's clients, which would be the borrower, the seller. I mean,
Yeah.
there's two parts. There's dollars, and there's feel and experience.
Yes.
Right.
And there's a relationship.
Well, that all ties to that relationship, but it
Yeah.
needs a strategy. So so let's get into your business. Okay. So virtual business solutions.
That's right.
Real estate?
Real estate, yes.
Okay. Virtual business solutions, real estate.
Let me tell you what happened, okay? Because that's what.
VBS RE.
That's right.
Okay, got it.
We'll take all that.
I'm going to go with VBS.
Okay. I started out.
It's a vacation
Bible school. Yeah, shout out to
Okay.
Josh Long, who's a real estate trainer, who would take me to his masterminds and then make that joke every time. But yeah, what happened was when I started it, I still had my corporate job, and I was promoted so many times, and I was salary and like an 8 to 4:30, 8 to 5, and I used to work over. I used to work on, like, I'm kind of a worker bee.
Sure.
So when that happened, I'm like home at like 5:30. I'm like, what am I? I had my son. He's, he was like 8, at the time, and I wanted to do something else. And so I was at the library, and I was reading this book, and it said businesses you could start under $1,000. I go, well, what's going on in here? And
are you kidding
I swear,
me?
and virtual assistant. And as the words were on, it was like it came alive. I mean, my heart connected. I was like in love. I said, I would love to do that, be a virtual assistant. So I just thought I would do it at night. I was like, I'll come home and I'll help somebody with some, because I knew a lot about marketing and strategy and all that kind of stuff. So I started out what I'd help come one, come all. I'd help all kind of businesses. And that became a little excruciating. I mean, because the minute you tackle one industry, then you have a new one. I'm an author, or I'm a radio host, and then now I'm a lender, and so I had 2 agents, right, and that were a part of, and that was kind of where it locked in for me because of my previous experience. And even at my corporate
where
job,
you started out,
right. And even my corporate job, the risk and the plans we put together were for loan departments, for servicing loans. So it was all kind of still tied and connected,
all coming together
and we'd have to report back to HUD, and so I was really still ingrained in the industry. It just was from a different vantage point. So so I said, I think I'm just going to just focus on the real estate part. Tristan was the first person I ever hired just because I knew that I needed some help during the day. She was working out of college. She's still with me today. She's now my COO. And
look at you.
I know.
Look at you. How can I start a business for under $1,000? And she just threw down.
know.
She's my COO.
You know what?
God, I love it.
But this is what I love about business. This is what fascinates me about business. there's nothing there. Like, it's just nothing. You get an idea. You say, I want to do this idea. And you say, this is the colors I want to use, and these are the core values I want to do, and these are, how I want to respond to complaints, which starts to breathe life into it. It gives it its own spirit that can live on even after you're gone, which is what you've done. You got to think about it. Okay, lenders are a dime a dozen, but you've breathed life into it by creating a culture and a dynamic, and how you respond to your staff creates your core values if you have it written down or not.
Absolutely.
Because they know what's important to you. So that's kind of what had kind of happened. So Tristan was my ride or die. She still is. We even have another business together now that we design planners for real estate agents that, shameless plug, it starts pre-selling today. So
shameless plug.
Yes. Beyond Routine Planner.
Beyond Routine Planner.
Yes.com. So they're designed just for real estate agents and entrepreneurs, because I love planners because I'm a strategist. So I love to write it out and figure it out. And I would be ripping up my planner because it'd talk about the meals for the week. I'm like, I need to have my profit and loss column. So I'll put that right here. So me and Tristan said,
while I'm checking my meals.
I would just be crossing things out and making it work for me as an entrepreneur. And I told Tris, what if we did our own? Like, man, let's do it. So now we're 50-50 partners on that. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, but
congratulations.
Thank you. We sold out before the holidays last year, so it was an awesome first year launch, and now we're in our second year. So, but anyway, so she was the first person I hired, and it really went from there. I said, well, I'll do the contracts, you'll do the listings. And then we kind of both did marketing. We both love marketing.
Right.
And that's really how it started. And then it turned into, I'm getting pretty busy. I think we need to hire one more person.
Okay, but what is VBS?
So virtual business solutions really is that. It's where...
This is obviously for those that don't know.
Right, of course.
Let's go.
Okay. Well, it's where, we provide solutions to your business, and we are just a virtual team that can support you. So now we focus just on real estate. We do have a couple of clients that are still from the first couple of years where we helped everybody. But we transaction coordinating, listing coordinating, marketing, and admin. Are kind of those four categories. Everything we do can be,
So transaction,
listing,
marketing,
and admin. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So and we hire for that reason. So if I'm hiring someone to join the team, the transaction coordinating position is what they want to apply for. Then they test for it to see if it really is compatible with their personality. They do a strength finders test because I want to know their strengths. I want to make sure that we have a hodgepodge of different strengths on the team. And then they talk to Tristan. They talk to the actual manager of that department because we have a TC manager, a listing manager, and then they talk to me last if everything kind of checks out.
Sure.
And it's not to be a pain, but it is to be very selective of
No. You hire slow, fire fast.
Absolutely, and I hire slow
you gotta hire
as molasses.
Slow.
Yes. Yeah. Because I've learned that if I don't, it impacts the client, it impacts the team. Because the team now has to pick up what you mess up.
Sure. I know it will impact the client, but more importantly, it does impact the team. And the team...
The camaraderie and everything.
Everything has a much bigger foothold as to who it all is that you impact. So it's not just one client that person maybe was hired to help. It's going to be your whole client base if your team starts to be disrupted.
And I'm more protective probably of my team than I am of anything.
Sure,
like
100%.
And it's only because too, like, when you have somebody that has your back when you're looking or you're not looking, like, you go to war for them, and they've proven that time and time again. I mean, they do things that go above and beyond that they're not doing for me to hear or not. We're a virtual team, so it's not like I can hear you on the phone going above and beyond for a client. The only way I'm going to know is if the client thinks to tell me, and because they don't call me and brag on themselves. Well, sometimes they do, but no, most times they don't. I find out later. I find out when they leave a good review and or when I see them in person at a class or something, and so. I have the deepest respect for my team. Like I said, business is something that there was nothing there. Now it's something created, and now it's people that have your back in it. It's kind of
how difficult
humbling.
Was it to gain traction? I mean, you started it with, read the book, how to start a business under $1,000. You did it. So how difficult was it to gain traction in this space?
It was hard. Yeah. It really was. It's hard because people don't understand what it is, especially when I started. Mm-hmm. Now it's kind of, and now it's starting to really get more popular, and I love seeing different transaction coordinators kind of out there doing different things because it really starts to really build the integrity of the industry, because any type of virtual assistant was really known to kind of be kind of overseas, and there was a language barrier, and they might be working at night when you're working in the day.
Yep.
And it works for some things, but for most clients, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Not in real estate.
The title company is open from 8 to 5. They're not going to help you at night. I mean, sometimes, but I mean, you need somebody that's on the job between 8 and 5. You need somebody that can call the client and really help them understand the process. And now I'm talking about the buyers and the sellers.
Sure.
So, and so when I really created it, it really was new. It's hard for people to comprehend. And then once they did, it was kind of like, really? And you're going to do all of that? I'm like, yeah, that's how it works. Yeah.
There's an agent out there that's sitting here going,
Yes.
yeah. Why do I need a transaction coordinator? Why do I need, virtual business solutions to help me with my business? I mean, how do you answer that question?
I don't necessarily get asked that a lot, but you can tell sometimes when they're calling to find out more that's what they're thinking. And my opinion about it is this: you're only one person. You got 2 hands, 1 body, 1 brain. So there's only so much you can do. And when you're just yourself, your income is limited, your impact is limited. It's going to take you longer to get to your goals. It's going to take you longer to realize that you have a blind side, because you may have a weakness that you feel like is okay to have, that if you have a team of people, they're going to recognize that, that could be their strength. You always hire for your strength. So I get it. Sometimes they're new agents and they go, I just think for now I need to try to do everything myself. And to what extent, So you spend your day majoring in minor things. You're going to spend your day 3 hours trying to figure out how to do your postcard when we can do it in 30 minutes and you can be out building relationships. At what extent? Because what's going to happen is that's why you run into the business and you get your butt kicked and then you have to get out of it.
Yep.
Because you don't realize that you're in the business of building relationships. Do you have 7 to 10 lead generating platforms coming your way? If not, then give me some work and go figure that out. Because
I know you're good at what you do, but I really expect some great things. I mean, I just hear what you're saying, and I totally believe it. I buy into it. It's what I live in every day. I mean, what you're saying is the truth. I mean, and there are agents out there, because I was that person.
Yes.
Believe it or not.
Me too.
I mean, and I've had some really big companies where, I thought I had to be the one that did everything.
Absolutely.
Nobody's going to do it better than me.
That's why it's ego.
Right. 100%.
I had the same thing. My contracts was the last thing I let go. I'd be drowning in contracts because I didn't want to give them up. I thought somebody else would screw them up.
But the reality is there are people that do those things better than us.
Absolutely.
And there are people that do the things that you think you're great at that honestly you may be good at.
That's right.
But you can't be great at everything.
And you shouldn't want to be.
Right? What's the deal? You're jack of all trades, master of none.
Of none. Absolutely.
Right? So you need to look at what you need to be great at.
Yes.
Which is the connection to the relationship of the client, right? And identifying what their need is and being able to solve that for them.
Right.
And then everything else, get rid of it.
Absolutely.
Get it off your plate.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And then make sure the team that you're getting it off to has that level of expertise to make it better than what you ever thought you could even do.
Absolutely. And it's possible.
Right. So like with me, my team, and I wish I could be the person that said, oh yeah, I knew this is what I needed to do, so I did this for my team. The reality is my team had to teach me this. Like, I started in '96, so this was like '99. My team came to me and said, man, look, you're really great at building systems and processes and all these kind of things.
Yeah.
But you're meddling in everything that we're doing, and you're not really reaching your potential. And I'm like, wow, that sucks.
That's a slap in the face, isn't it? It's a good lesson to learn.
Right, but I sat there and I'm like, they're really right. I say I love to do all these things, but the reality is I really don't.
You're majoring in minor things.
I was, but what I really did great was I built the system, and they said, look, give us the shot. They did. Give us a shot at doing this for you. And you go do these things, and let's see if we come out in a better place. And I'm like...
And a lot of times, if it doesn't work, it's the system's fault.
100%. They knew that was the smart enough
if
to know
you
that.
build a good system, an average person is going to get exceptional results. So I think that it's all about the system. It's all about when is it due and how do we do it and how do we do it if this happens and if this, then what. And if you look at my project management system, it will bog your mind, the if this, then what in our system, because they know exactly what to do no matter what happens.
Well, what a system does and what I found through tweaking it, right? The if then this is going to happen. Okay, change this. Let's modify this. Was it allowed me to scale and grow to the size that I am today, and not have anybody feel the impact of my growth.
Yes.
Because it was so dialed in that it allowed for exceptional experiences all the way through. And then it allowed me to do what I loved, which was the intentional call, the conversation about
Absolutely.
numbers, the things that had the highest level of impact with the least amount of time,
Yes.
which was important to me. I wanted to identify where I could bring to my clients the highest level of impact with the least amount of time.
Well, and you think
Right.
about it, if you get up in the morning, Bob, and you say, what can I do and only I do that will bring me closer to my goals? And you are doing those things, especially with the branding and the video and the, I mean, not you have to be the one to do that. It's Bob Mortgage. So it has to be Bob's face. So those are the things that you can do and only you can do. And then the small touches that you can do with the phone calls
Absolutely.
and the impact, and then that's going to continue to generate those referrals. You have to ask yourself that. And I tell even when potential clients are calling me, if you ask yourself that, what can you do and only you do? What are you doing all day? And can it fall into that category?
Well, and I appreciate you saying that, because I do a lot of marketing, a lot of
Yes.
branding, a lot of video,
Love
but
it.
you'll see in my videos and all the things that I do, I mean,
Work
Brandon will tell you, I mean, I'm sitting here recording videos to clients individually, sending
Yeah.
things out. I'm on phone all day having conversation with clients. So just like you, while we are building businesses and we're building brands and we're putting all this content out there, we still have to be connected to that client.
Absolutely, yeah.
So there's always a connection. That's why I love building the process and the system the way it's been built, was because I could take off 95% of the things that are definitely important to a transaction to make it a great experience. I could take those off because I have a team
Right.
that said, we could do it better than you. We got this.
Yes.
We got your back. You go do the 5% that completely delivers raving fan service, that completely gets that client to say, wow,
Right.
Bob, that was awesome. Thanks for that recommendation. I love that strategy. Okay, now we're good.
Right.
And that 5% was enough to deliver what we talk about. I know we're in the real estate or mortgage business, but it's really about feel and experience.
Yes.
The better we can make people feel about the experience they're having, we always win.
Right.
We
'Cause that's
always
all they
win
remember.
because they win.
Yep.
They deliver 5-star reviews, they send us referrals, all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
you know, going back to where we started this a couple of minutes ago was with the agents and talking about releasing things. I had to learn that, guys, and it wasn't something that I knew I should do, but my team helped me do that. But what I was really great at was understanding and listening and hearing and then implementing it. And that process was there. And then my business is, I mean, it's remarkable as
Yes.
where it has gone to, and my quality of my life has changed.
The balance that you can get.
People will use balance. I use harmony because I don't find any balance. There's no balance. I'm either here
Well,
or
yes.
I'm right in the middle all the time because just like kids and family and wife and business and just everything is all right there.
Yes.
And I got to figure out how to be everywhere at the same time.
Yeah.
And be present at whatever that one moment is I'm with you or one moment I'm with that client. So
Yeah, and that's probably bigger than anything is being present. I've learned that myself, being present. I used to get overwhelmed, especially back when I did I was still doing contracts, and then a client would say, I need to put a face with the name. Come out to my office in Royce City. I'm like, oh man, I got
my
40
agent,
contracts.
hey, my first agent was out in Greenville.
right. I went to school in commerce, so I know.
Every
I know the
time
area.
every time I had to drive out there. It's 96. I had to drive out to Greenville, Texas,
But
and take
still
a loan
got a ton of
application.
work. I know.
To take a loan application, right? Then that involved going to eat at whatever the local Mexican food
That's
restaurant
right.
was
You
at
gotta
the
hit
time,
that up.
or
That's
the
right.
Chinese food.
That's
I can't
right.
remember which one it was. It's one of those two that we always did.
Yes.
And then then I had to go back for closing.
Yeah.
Right? I had to drive out there to closing.
I
take
know.
everybody to lunch.
And I remember, I just remember driving to all these places, and then, I have an email come through my phone like, hey, Tiff, can you send this amendment out? And I'm thinking, I'm not going to be in front of a computer for a couple of hours. So it came to a point where I had to say, Tiff, you're no longer even you got to hire some TCs and kind of transition it, because I was trying to do it all. And I tell them that when I talked, I said, I've been where you have been. That was my baby. I didn't want to let it go. And then I realized that if you can build a system where every single thing, and Tristan kept saying, if you think about every single thing you do in the contract, let's just build. Oh my God, it's going to take me 6 months because I was very proactive. And so I just built it. I mean, it took me a good 90 days to really build what I do on a transaction where it could be trained to somebody else and the templates could be there. And then if the survey's there, but then you don't see this, and then you have the T47, but the label's cut off. I mean, it was like, this is what you do if that happens, and I built it, and now it's a smooth running
and so
machine.
it's a repeatable process.
Right. So that everybody gets the same experience.
Every TC uses, every agent and their client would get the same experience all the way through.
Absolutely.
It allows you then to step in when need be to kind of take that next level experience to that client.
And really help a lot. A lot of the team leads and
We got 15
brokers.
people.
Yeah.
You got a good sized company.
And I train the TCs myself.
Love it.
I have a video recording of me going through the whole training, and then I still do it live. And then I always say, I'm sorry that you watched the video, and I'm probably going to tell you a lot of the same things. But I feel like you might be paying closer attention, and repetition is going to leave an impression. So there's a video training, and then I do a live training, and then we do test contracts, and you do test. I have a complete intake system on how we intake contracts, and we have an auditing process where, like, I'm a systems girl. So
your systems and strategy.
Yeah, and so there's an audit process where we can kind of figure out, okay, if something, and it's auditing to the point where the client probably doesn't even know that a TC had some nicks on an audit, because it's not something they would pick up. But our level of excellence may not be even the client's level of excellence. So it is just our way, because this is what I've learned too, Bob. I'm sure you've learned this too. There's the hands-on agent. There's the laid-back agent. You don't even hear from them agent when you're working on different deals. And you have to have a process that keeps all of them happy.
Right. I literally had an agent tell me one time that she was like, I completely forgot this process was so smooth. I completely forgot we had a closing.
That's right.
I mean, literally.
We get that too. Oh wow, Tiff, how did you get loan approval? Like, what's going on with that?
Right.
I mean,
and I'm like, okay, but we communicate with you every day. We'll get your reports every Tuesday and Thursday.
Hands off.
She goes, I knew you had it. It
don't
was
even
so
open
easy.
the emails half the time.
No.
Yeah.
So, how would an agent get started? Like, if they said, you know what, I think it's time in my business. Well, okay. Before we do that, is there a number? How do you say an agent's ready to move for a TC?
I think you can have a TC from the beginning. I do think as a new agent, just being complete transparency.
Yeah.
You need to do the first couple of contracts yourself.
Sure.
You need to feel every bump on that road. You need to.
Meaning not call the lender like me and ask them how to write the contract? Because that happens.
Or, I love you, Bob, but don't send Bob the seller's disclosure. You know what I mean? You got to kind of learn that after you do it. And Bob goes, hey, what's going on with the, So
don't send me the seller's disclosure.
Don't send it to Bob. But I mean, it's just one of those things. I do feel like in the beginning, you do need to kind of get a feel for that yourself. But once you actually know the process and you know how it works, you can immediately start to move into having a TC. There is no reason why you should be out with buyers and freaking out because your option period is up at 5 o'clock and have to stop what you're doing and draft up an amendment because they finally said, your buyers finally said, okay, I'm good with the things that we talked about. Now you're not in a position to sit in front of your computer. And that's when you say, you can reach out to your TC and have them finish that process for you. And I feel like that agents take a little bit before they actually get that, or they just don't trust. It's either trust or expertise that they're nervous about. And it's really never about the money.
Look,
it's always those two things.
It's never about the money. It is, I think it's more trust because as I talk to agents and I really set the stage for why we do what we do at the level that we do it is because I realize I'm an extension of your brand. Right. And once you really understand what I mean by that is, we're the extension, we're the handoff. And so we have a great responsibility to hold our brand up there this high because it's going to continue. You're going to chase my brand. It's a commitment I have to have, not from an ego standpoint, but I mean, it's a commitment I have to have to the quality, to the execution, to the communication, to the education, everything that we put out so that I always feel like your brand is chasing my brand because that means we're doing the right thing when the customer or when the client hands, the agent hands that buyer, hey, call Bob Mortgage. They research us on social. They do all that kind of stuff. They're like, man, this guy,
he's a real deal.
This team really works to give back. I can trust them. trust is our number one currency that we
Yes.
have in business.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep, because especially in ours in an assistant role. So we work out of an email assistant account. So if it's like you're Bob Johnson, the real estate agent, we work out of, assistant to Bob Johnson. They don't know that it's Virtual Business Solutions. Most times when a new client comes to me, they don't realize that they've worked with half my team on the opposing side of a contract, because
Sure.
we've done so many contracts. We've done over 1,000 contracts within the DFW area. So because of that, a lot of people work with us and didn't know it, because we work in a true assistant role. We're logging into an assistant account. It's on their phone, and anytime that becomes, when you've got 1,000 contracts, we have over 90 clients. It turns into the TC having 6 or 7 email accounts on their phone, but my core value won't allow it to go any other way. I don't want to work out of the VBS. I don't.
Okay, so
I like
that's
it to
important.
appear
So it's appearing as if you're a true assistant
part of the
to
team.
that agent.
Our signature looks like their signature. Everything. We
Oh,
look
I
like
love
we
that.
are right hand with them, working with them all day. That is one of the number one things that no matter how big we get, we'll always do that. Yeah.
Okay, so if they want to get started,
Yes.
okay, so let's talk about that as Brandon runs in front of the cameras. If they want to get started, what's the first place? How do they do
So
this?
yeah, you can call us. Our email us. We typically, because we were growing so fast, we I guess about a year and a half ago we went to referral only, where we still were getting 8-9 clients a week. So with just referrals. So, and then classes. If I did classes and you met me at a class, if you're watching and you're Bob referred me. But it was really to kind of protect the rapid growth we were under, and so that I couldn't train them fast enough. And what I refuse to do is just hurry up and hire somebody, because I want to make sure I can get everybody that calls me, and because that's not important to me as it is to protecting the quality of the company and the processes. So I said, well, let's slow it down.
Don't grow to grow.
Yeah, and so we do open enrollment. So every quarter for 2 weeks, we kind of just open the door and say, hey, we start advertising, we push that, and then we let clients kind of come in, and that way we can brace ourselves for it. The staff's ready, and then other than that, we just do referrals. So if you know me, you can always, but it was just a way. I mean, we would just get the random, it was too much. And so we really couldn't protect the quality anymore. So we had to change the game a little bit, and that was a game changer. Becoming referral only with the open enrollment, and you have some kind of line into me, then that's fine. It's not like it's a brick wall that you can't get into.
Look at this. You got to have a line into me.
No,
I'm
saying,
no.
Even if you don't know me personally.
I love just
But it was a
as a
game
true
changer for us.
entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I'm a true entrepreneur that started businesses, lost businesses, continue to build businesses. I'm on the record. I've never met a failure that is a true failure. It's only a failing forward opportunity.
Yep.
To see the growth and what you've done is great, and to be able to say you got to have a line into me to be able to come on as a client is a different place, because most people grow because they're just trying to add as much business and as many clients as they can. And you're talking about preserving
quality.
the quality and your core values and your team and what all that means, because on the other side it means great impact to the people that you're already serving.
Absolutely.
And you
And
do
my
want to
team.
grow.
I
You do
mean,
want to
yeah,
grow,
absolutely.
right? But it's going to be calculated. You're a
just-
strategist. It's going to be
just
calculated.
healthy. Yes, it's just a little bit. It just protected the health of the business, and then my team. I mean, this work is labor that the team is doing. So if we would get 20 clients in 1 week, and it's not fast enough for the TC to get acclimated into, every agent's different. They might be in Sky Slope and back agent, and then we work all those systems. We do all your system of record work. So it was just, it became intense for a while. So it was just a way to kind of protect the quality, and
So-
we have a lot, title companies and real estate trainers that still send us a ton of referrals.
So your biggest strength as a business owner and your biggest challenge that you have to overcome.
Oh man, that is a good one. My
I
biggest.
told you I wasn't going to tell you any of my questions.
I love it. My biggest My biggest strength is probably the strategist, you know,
Yeah.
and my clients know that. So they call me and go, Tiff, this marketing plan isn't working. What do you think? And I go, okay, well, let me see it. And are you doing that? And the call to action's like in the bottom, in the corner. What are we doing there? So I can really work with them and help them re-strategize. And that is my strength. That's what I enjoy doing. And I spend probably 50% of my days doing that. It's
Yeah,
just client
sure.
calls and re-strategizing. And then once we create a new system, then it's transitioned to the marketing VA that may be helping them. But so that's probably a lot of fun. I love doing the classes and coming out the things that we did recently.
Oh, yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. I love hearing the value. I'm not a sponsor that leaves at the beginning. I always stay for the class because I'm going to learn something I can get back to my clients. I'm always taking notes just like everybody else in the room. I like information. You know,
Yeah.
I like books. I like information. So I like learning new things. But so that's always a good balance of the two. And then I get to meet agents and they go, you know what, I like you. I want to, you know, because people go
People
with
want
the
to,
person,
they know
not
they
the
like
business.
it, and they ultimately trust.
Yeah.
Is who they end up doing business with.
So that's probably the strength and what I enjoy the most. My least amount of enjoyment probably is
Or at least amount of enjoyment, but what do you see as a
the
challenge,
challenge.
in your space that you know you need to work on or figure out a way to overcome that in the
Yeah.
space? It doesn't have to be just you, but in the
I'm
space.
still, you know, I'm still a people pleaser at heart, and I think my biggest challenge is probably like any type of the controversy gets to be too much. The difficult client. I remember with the first time we talked, I go, "You ever had to fire a client?" Remember we had that
Oh,
conversation.
yeah.
I'm always curious how one does that. We haven't had to do that in a very long time, but I think that's the hardest part because we continue to try to make something work that's kind of not working, and keep continuing to try and going above and beyond, and it can get a little bit. It gets to a point where you have to say, okay, maybe our core values aren't matched. You know,
And I do.
Yeah.
I'll hang on to somebody probably
As long
too
as-
long.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
because I always
And staff
believe
too.
that
Yeah.
there's more that I could do, right? I'm one of those. I'll look in the mirror first, right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, what is it? What could we have done differently? What could I have done differently?
Yeah.
Give me an opportunity to change this. Give me an and I will. I'll hang on. But at some point, it's like, look, at the end of the day, this isn't working. You know, no matter what it is, whatever you want to call it, it's not working. It's
That's the
not
hardest for
healthy.
me. Yeah.
It's not healthy for either one of us.
Yes.
I believe I can put you in a better position by cutting ties.
Yes.
I really do. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I really do.
I'm doing this for you.
I'm doing this for you.
So yeah, I think that's it. And we have like an issue log, and as I'm like you, I take full responsibility for anything that ever happens. I always think it's the system's fault, always. And we have an issue log. If it's a small issue or if it's a big issue, where I literally track the issue. I have the managers put it there. I tell them, when you put it there, I need to know what we did to fix it, how we can prevent this from ever happening again, and then I take that log based on the department and I build the training for the quarter for the whole team. So, I mean, everything's a
I'm gonna bring you in and let you
want me to- you want me to
evaluate the
Go
strategy that I
system.
have in place. Oh, I love strategy against strategy. Let's see which one works.
So that's what I do because I do feel like it's always on us. It's always the system's fault or my fault or something. And then once you run into where that's just not even working, then
So you have mentioned marketing though.
Yes.
So you
Yeah.
do marketing for
Yeah.
agents?
So we probably do about 12 e-newsletters a day. I mean, that's probably the thing we do the most. So e-newsletters where it's customized to you. You know, it has your information. It's not just computer generated from a company.
Sure.
Sarah K. Part is the manager for that, who's been with me for a very long time. She's just a bomb. You know, she does social media and the e-newsletters. So that's probably our most thing. But we do have a graphic design team that does custom designs, logos, and postcards,
Yeah.
and flyers if you have a big event and
Sure.
things like that. And so we work with a lot of partners and do that, not just even real estate. Like we just work with Sterling, Inspection House,
Yeah,
and things
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So it's not necessarily just real estate for that. So so that's more along the marketing. We do all of farming campaigns. We have a printing system, so we can print the cards, and we already have a good align in with a company that does it fairly inexpensive. We know how to pull the addresses and say 100 homes within the subject property and all that. So that's the marketing side of it.
Agents, if you're watching, it's kind of cray-cray. I mean, you need to at least have a conversation, because if you're here and you want to go here, trust me, this is just speaking personal experience, you can't get there by yourself.
Absolutely.
You can't. You need a team. And your options are to go hire all these employees yourself to try to build it, which is costly because you're paying for all those things, even if you're not getting the full benefit or using it all.
Absolutely.
And you're doing all the TC from buyers to listings, and you're adding in some admin and marketing
Absolutely.
work.
Yes.
All of that?
All of that, working from your assistant account. You can have one little team plugged into your business.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
yeah. That's
Oh my
the magic.
gosh. Well, guys, you know, and so tell me how do they find you? So
VBSrealestate.com.
VBSrealestate.com.
Yeah, VBSrealestate.com is where they can go to the website, and it'll have our phone number, contact form, and all that, and you can reach out, and we'll send you a nice brochure, and we have a detailed brochure with all our checklists, that we do on the TC side, because it's so much. And I always,
Right.
you know, even when they call me, what all do you do on a contract? I'm like, we can be here all day, baby, but okay, I'll start with the first thing. So, because we do a lot. I mean, it's a 43-point checklist.
Right.
I play no games. I
Yep.
want marketing in the checklist. I want to make sure that we reached out and got their favorite restaurants and the kids' birthdays. We send a form out for that. We design your Just Sold postcard, and your TC's not designing it. And when it drops in our system, graphic designers already assign that task. And then once they tell us that it closed, they start designing it for you. So, and then the social media, and that's also, all that marketing is included. The thank you email that goes out where they can just click the button and then they're on your Zillow page and can leave a review. We do all that for you. So, and that was all put in the system that we created. So, I mean, you want to do all that yourself?
Do yourself a favor, guys.
That's right.
Reach out to Tiffany. Make your business go to that next level. I know you're going to be even more successful this time next year, this time next month. I look forward to, obviously, we do a lot of stuff together. I look
Yeah.
forward to seeing your growth. I look forward to getting those emails from people that have connected with you because of this
Love
jam
that.
session.
Yes.
This is why I do this, right?
Yes.
And so I really want to know. I really want to follow. I really want to see. I know I see it all the time because we're on contracts together. So that's good. But guys, I really appreciate you giving us your eyes and ears today.
That was awesome.
You know, hopefully, hey, if it was awesome, give us the 5 stars.
Love it.
If we sucked, okay, I get it. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Just send a text.
Just send me a text and let me know if I didn't bring it. I know maybe I did, and I know she did, so we're good there. At least I'm going to get 2.5 out of this.
Aw, I appreciate you. This was great. This is awesome. I
guys,
love chatting with you.
Go have a great day, and even more importantly, make somebody else's day better. Take care. See ya.
Thank you.